Hi there, I'm Bruno Gruber, software engineer at Inflectra. Today, I'm going to demonstrate the features of our Spira DataSync Jira plugin. Before using this integration, you need to choose and configure the DataSync service.
The first thing you need to do is make sure you have the DataSync service configured. If you are a Spira Cloud customer, make sure you have a valid DataSync license and enter the Spira DataSync user credentials you created in the customer area web page. Remember, the DataSync user must be a system administrator. If you have an on-premise installation of Spira, you can use our DataSync Windows service or our desktop DataSync application. Our documentation can help you make the best choice and provide detailed instructions on how to set up the service. In Spira, you can manage and configure your DataSync plugins by going to Administration, then Data Synchronization. You must be a system administrator to access this page. Here, you can see all your DataSync plugins at a glance. Check their statuses, event logs, which will show you the execution data and any potential warnings or error messages from the execution of the sync cycle. And you can reset the sync if you change a key configuration or mapping. On this page, if you click Edit, you can see the plugin configuration page, which is different if you are using Jira Server or Data Center. Here, you can customize an optional label or caption and a description for your plugin, as well as enter the required Jira instance connection data, URL, login, and Jira API key. Make sure your Jira user can read and update all the data you want to sync, as well as read the project user's basic data. You need to choose a sync mode, depending on what artifacts and sync direction you need. Currently, the plugin supports 4 different sync modes: default, bi-directional, no requirements, and no incidents. For example, the no requirements sync mode will sync newly created incidents from Spira to Jira, and if they are updated there, these changes will be reflected in Spira. Note that new items created in Jira won't sync to Spira in this mode. So, if you need full sync of incidents between Spira and Jira, the bi-directional mode must be your option. Our documentation explains in detail what happens in which sync mode to help you to decide what is the best option for your needs. When configuring this integration, you also need to tell the plugin what Jira issue types you want to sync as requirements and/or tasks in Spira, unless you only want to sync incidents. Please note that if you are using the no incident sync mode, then you must enter at least one issue type for requirements or tasks. To help you find the Jira issue type IDs to enter in the plugin configuration fields, you can use our Jira DataSync Configuration Helper application. After providing your credentials, select a project you want to sync to see a list of available issue types. Copy all the IDs from the ID column for all the projects you want to sync. For example, if you want to sync the Jira issue types, new feature, and blocker as requirements in Spira, enter 10,015, 10,017 in the task types configuration field. The configuration helper tool is also useful when configuring the data mappings. Configuring data mappings is required for the integration to work seamlessly. The product data mapping page can be accessed from the data synchronization page in Spira by selecting a product you want to sync from the drop-down menu and clicking the arrow. You can find the Jira project external key in the configuration helper tool. In our example, it's SP2. Enter this value in the external key field. For each artifact type you want to sync, you need to configure the standard and custom field mappings so the DataSync plugin knows which fields and values are equivalent in each system. For example, to configure incident priority, in the Configuration Helper tool, click on the tab Issue Priorities and match the Jira issue priority values with the incident priority values in Spira. The same thing must be done for custom properties. For example, if I have a Boolean custom property name flagged in Jira that I want to sync against a custom property name Notify Support in Spira, I need to first select this property in the mapping list of my Spira product, then use the Configuration Helper tool to learn its ID. $10,021. Then I just need to enter this on the mapping page in Spira and save it. In our documentation page, you can find details on how to configure each standard and custom field. Now it's time to see the integration working. For our example, we are using the bi-directional sync mode. I have already configured the Jira issue type support to sync as incidents in Spira and completed the mappings for statuses, types, priorities, and severities, as well as my custom properties. The DataSync service was also configured and it's running. So, when I create a new incident in Spira, after a few minutes, I can see it in Jira. Here's our incident in Jira. Note that a link to the Spira incident was added. All the mapped fields synced, as well as comments and attachments. There's a sync mode option to skip the attachment sync if you prefer. Jira versions are synced against Spira releases in both directions, but only if they are assigned to an artifact. You can manually map pre-existing releases in Spira to avoid duplications if you already had them before setting up the DataSync. Returning to our synced issue, if I update it, I'll see the update reflected in Spira. Let's update its name, description, version, and a custom property. A few minutes later, I can see the updated data in Spira. In the Spira instant, I can also see a clickable link to the Jira issue and its external ID on the details page. All the changes done by the DataSync are recorded in the History tab. The sync of requirements and tasks works in a similar way, depending on the sync mode you choose.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope this overview of our Jira DataSync plugin was helpful. If you have any questions or need any assistance during the configuration process, please reach out to our excellent support team who will be happy to help. Have a great day.